How about now? I always mute my mic because if I don't mute my mic while the countdown thing is counting down, you hear me smacking on my food or slamming stuff around or doing whatever I'm doing. So, I try to mute my mic. And then when I mute my mic, yeah, I forget to unmute it. Hence, like what just happened. Like I got the sun on top of me. So anyway, what I was saying was I was hoping that this would finally be alive, that y'all wouldn't see me eating. But no, last night was my wife's birthday. We didn't go out to eat because, hey, we can't afford it. But, she'll kick my ass if no, she hates when I tell you all that kind of stuff. But anyway, plus it's a school night. She's a teacher, assistant principal. But, so she wanted me to make crawfish monica. She likes crawfish monica. Crawfish and rotini pasta with a cream sauce. Made it from scratch at home. So I'm eating leftovers, and I nuked it way too much. And now it's a little too damn hot to, I don't know if y'all can see the steam or not, but we're cooking here. So what's going on? I could go for chicken burrito right now. Try to tell them in Spanish. Actually, it's funny you say that, Roar, because, I like to admit, I don't like hiding stuff from y'all. And even sometimes I do really things I'm not proud of and I'm quite ashamed of. And I don't want y'all to find out later. So I'm going to be forward on this. This is very hard and difficult to talk about, but as adults, I think we can talk about it. I think y'all would understand. So while I was playing around in my Discord, can't see the names. Little Finny sets me straight in a nice way. I don't like the way that sounded. About Silencio. And from what I remember in the beginning about Silencio, in the beginning of this new fork that I call a fork that they did, I don't see them talking at all anymore about sound pollution. Somebody asked me if that part is dead. I don't know if it's dead. They just don't talk about it. But I had thought at first that's all he talked about was bilingual, like translating English to French and, Spanish to Japanese and whatever. I didn't realize that there was a way that only, if like you only understand English. And then it asks you which dialect of English, which I didn't think there was a such thing as a dialect of English when you talk English, but there's a Southern and a Northern in New York. But so I put Southern. So I hate to admit this because it's hard to admit this. I have actually been playing with the Silencio translation thing. I'm not proud of it. I'm sorry. But I have been playing with the Silencio. And it's not that bad. You just sit right here. It says I have 15 coins, but I don't think this has to be maybe raffle tickets. But also, at no point did it ask me to link this to my already Silencio account. So, you just sit right here and you press, you set up your microphone and you press click to start recording and you just sit here and read it. And they probably say this is a real strong Southern dialect accent because I probably mispronounced half these words. Look, I go to these conferences and people make fun of me all the time. Like I say ambulance and they're like, they just think there's something wrong with that. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know what happens with these tokens. So I did like a couple of these monologues, and then they also got keywords. And again, this is not passive income because you actually have to sit here and do something. But hey, if you're bored on a Saturday and you ain't got nothing to do, now the thing about this is if this is raffle tickets, you're getting probably about a penny and a half for this. If this is raffle tickets, hell, if it's even tokens, you're probably getting a penny and a half. But you can do like free speech where they give you something to talk about and you just sit here and talk. I'm not that good with that part. And then they have keywords and you can sit here and just say buy, sell, price, order, discount, checkout, cart. You just sit here and you say the words and you don't get as many points. But then if you do the monologue and you actually read this whole paragraph, then you get 206 tokens. So for testing purposes, I might just do a couple of these here and there. Unless somebody can tell me. I'm curious what you actually make. Like, what do those coins, do they end up being raffle tickets? Because I think this whole raffle ticket thing gimmick with Silencio was cool at first. I've said this many times. I think it sucks. Because I can have 400,000 raffle tickets, and then Jay Styles can have 400,000 raffle tickets, and 619 can have 400,000 raffle tickets, and we all get wildly different amounts to a point. It's crazy. Just give us X amount of Silencio tokens for the work we do. Yeah. So I will say, you know, V13 says that. So on one of the first monologues, the question actually was, what is your thought about AI and humans' reliance on AI? And, you know, how is AI a positive thing? And you know me, I'm a grumpy a-hole. I let him have it. That was one. That was one, and that wasn't the monologue. That was the free speech thing. So it actually just like, what do you think about AI and humans' reliance on it? And I'm like, I think AI is horrible. I'm surprised the website didn't crash. Humans are becoming lazy with it. Humans don't want to troubleshoot anything for themselves. And everything is like, you know, like a guy at work today, we couldn't figure out something. He's like, I'm just going to ask ChatGPT. And ChatGPT actually, it was a network issue actually, and we couldn't figure it out. And ChatGPT freaking figured it out for us. And I'm like, and actually we did a regular Google search first and couldn't. So he put this in ChatGPT website and it told us what the troubleshoot and we got it. And I'm like, son of a bitch, because I just don't like this reliance on, hey, look, I know I'm old, and you know, back in 1985, we didn't have ChatGPT. No, but it's just that at some point, I even said in the thing, like, I'm afraid humans are just going to lose how to free think, if that makes sense. But maybe just basic troubleshooting. I don't know. So how's everybody's crypto doing? I don't know what happened to my line. There it is. So if you came Tuesday, we drew this line. On Tuesday live. What was that? That was the 18th at about, and we drew this line. And actually, I think it was tilted down a little bit more. But it's just funny how them lines line up like that. I don't know what happens from here. We know that these big candles, this is 4-hour candles. I shared on my what happened to it? There was an article from CoinMarketCap, and it's actually a couple of different places like that. Actually, it was TradingView. I don't know if y'all saw this or not, but this is what is leading to a lot of the sales today. 1.3 billion would it be in Bitcoin was sold off by our early holder. So I was watching Tyler earlier, and he was talking about this. Massive sale of old existing Bitcoin. I can tell you it wasn't mine. But apparently there's a lot of whales selling right now. I don't know if they know something we don't know. I don't know what y'all might have heard about this, but this has something to do with a lot of the selling that's going on today. It's crazy. And I wish I knew. I was looking at the article. I wish I knew what he bought at, just out of curiosity, so I can go puke this food up. Yeah, I wish I knew what the hell he bought it. I'd like to know. Crypto Potato. That's a website. He sold 11,000 Bitcoin since October. Latest transaction. So what it is he's been selling since October, but 230 million to, that's crazy. Effing crazy. What y'all think? I think B13 has a point. Not financial advice, of course, but he says Bitcoin, Solana, and USDC is what he's accumulating during this downturn. You know, I can guarantee y'all single-handedly right now, I can stop this bleeding, guaranteed. Let me tell you how I can stop this bleeding, guaranteed, if I sell. Because every time I try to catch the falling knife, it immediately turns around and it goes up. And then when I go buy back in, I'm buying at a loss every time. That's why I haven't sold yet, because I just feel like if I would have sold 3 days ago when we talked about this, or 2 days ago, I figured it was going to go up and then I'll be screwed. I want to sell my natives so bad, only because I need some money with hunting season. Feeling me, going on a hunting trip for Thanksgiving, big Thanksgiving weekend hunt. Son's coming with me, and I'd like to have a little bit of spending cash. Go out to eat, spend some time with him, and this is like the worst time for this dip. You know, Wendio says this is all people selling, tax harvesting because of taxes coming up and stuff like that. I think she got a boob job, but I don't know. Then of course she does some clickbait saying XRP is about to save the world, literally. I've been helping Mr. Glenn, the old man, trying to fix his Wingbits DIY station. His home network is just, I am this close. Me and Tombers, y'all know who Tombers is. He's in some of the Discords. We're this close to just driving 5 hours to North Mississippi and fixing this man's home network for him and just being done with it. But it's hard to explain to him that you have your router your combo router from the ISP in your house that's putting off DHCP IPs. But on the other side of the house, none of his TVs and his wife's TV wouldn't work and everything like that. So what's he do? He goes buys a Netgear router. Somehow, I guess he has it wired, and that's giving off DHCP, and it's causing all kinds of issues. I think it's what's causing DNS issues right now, or some kind of issues with his Wingbits station too. And it's like trying to explain that to him because he doesn't understand. He said, "Well, I need Wi-Fi on that side of the house." He doesn't understand. There's no way he's going into that Netgear router and turning off DHCP. There's no way. And he'll let me remote into his laptop, but he doesn't know any of the information to get into the router. Oh, and not only that, but the TVs, it's crazy. It's crazy. Monogram using Solana XRP is trash. Milkman said he hit a XCC blink today. I guess he means block. Have I watched the Working Money channel before? He does good videos, not all about hype. No, I have not. Working Money channel. Working Money channel. Let's see what we got here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's too much XRP crap for me. Anybody who talks about XRP being anything over $5, especially over $10, is just pushing for sales. I don't. What else is it? It's at $1.90 today. Where's Z Chain at today? Or Z Coin? ZEC. All greens. All greens. Only token with all greens, other than USDC, which don't count. All greens. What was it the other night when we had our live? 18 at 750. It was $600. 677. So that's what we were talking about. We were talking about what tokens. There's a house or sometimes delivered to the truck's license plate is XRP whale. I'm gonna tell you, if he was a whale and he held a huge amount at 40 and 50 cents and bought huge amounts and it went to $3, $3.50 and sold some of it, that's a 5x. He did pretty good. 6x. But like my buddy who didn't listen to me that I work with, did not listen to me at all. Wanted to listen to everybody at the plants around here. And I had friends from plants I ain't heard from in years calling me out the blue. How they were taking all kinds of money, putting in XRP when it was $3.20 because everybody's telling them it's going to $10 and then $100. And I told them, those people are not your friends. Don't ever talk to them again. They didn't listen. And I had one friend who, I'm not joking you, I saw it with my own eyes, who bought $10,000 worth of XRP. I know some of y'all have heard this already. And it was at like $3, $3.05, $3.01, $3.10, somewhere around there. I don't want to lie to you and exaggerate, but it was in the the very, very low threes. And I said, dude. So it went to twos, and with a couple, not too long ago, XRP went back to 3 for a little while. And I'm like, dude, please, just please, when this gets back to 3, please get rid of it. And so it hit 3 for a little while in September. And dude, that's just crazy. Crazy. But you know, again, which way am I pointing? Not financial advice, but I'm telling you, I told you all the other day, for those who weren't here, what my plan is. First of all, I need to go collect some cans on side of the road, because I really ain't got no extra capital for right now to buy anything. But you know, payday is tomorrow. They kill me not to buy anything. But y'all know, I'm in 2 different camps right now. It's gonna be confusing as hell, talking out of both sides of my face. Excuse me. But part of me says, and I followed, what's his name, and I shared it on my X, and I shared it on my Discord, the video from him. Quit chasing these altcoins if you already have a large bag of them. Quit, but continue to buy the dip, and move on to something else. And part of me agrees with that. I have enough Solana. I have a huge bag of VET, a huge bag of VThor, Atom, Cardano. So I'm really thinking about just any money I get, just putting into Bitcoin and just calling it a day. Especially if we have this drawdown of 56,000 like people are talking about. I don't know where to get that number from, but I'll keep hearing that number. I'm just going to kind of on Bitcoin. But like I said Tuesday, I know me. I love the alts. And if Bitcoin's really going to go down to 56,000, that means that's going to be under a penny. And there's a part of me that just wants to load up my whole bag. Like, load up whatever I can, cash out whatever, Sword Chain, Nadix, Silencio, Demo, whatever it is. I don't care what the price is. It's still going to be, you know, by the time I would sell all that, you're looking at, you know, in my helium, I'm looking at about $1,000 and just buying VET. Just buying VET. VET was at 3 and 4 cents not that long ago. If it falls underneath a penny and just goes back to 3 cents, I'm tripling my money. Solana, I bought a huge chunk of Solana, several Solana, when it was at 12. It was like, was it $9, $10, $11, $12, $13? People making fun of me in the helium forums. I was buying Solana. So I still say, even if I buy Solana at $120, $130, I'm raising my average cost. Does that make sense? You know, I don't know. But, or do you cash out these goofy projects like I'm talking about, them same goofy projects, and just put it in Bitcoin in case alts never go up again? I don't know. Y'all tell me. Like, y'all tell me what y'all think. Do y'all think if we don't have an alt season and just Bitcoin keeps bouncing around, are y'all still going to take chances in altcoins? I said this Tuesday, but I know they got some people here that weren't here Tuesday. Some of y'all have made this comment that I didn't really agree with back then, but I kind of starting to agree with it. Some of these goofy projects we're in, they're even not the goofy projects, some of the good projects we're in. As soon as you get those, you're selling them and put them into a Bitcoin or to a Solana or to Ethereum, a bigger, you know, what's the term you want to use? Boomer token, layer 0, layer 1, whatever you want to call it. I can kind of see that to a point. But yet, let me ask this question. One of y'all shared this with me the earlier, and I didn't see this. If you would have sold grass last week, Grass earlier was up 50%. It's up 77%. Like, what brought this on? Like, is it because somebody saw the ad with that goofy miner that they're about to sell? So people are like, oh, maybe this project's still alive. I need to reinvest in it. I mean, you up 77% in a week. That's crazy. So is grass not dead? Is this just manipulation? You know, I don't know. But you know, some of these projects, we always have this stuff like this. We have where Demo all of a sudden goes up, then comes back down. And you have Sword Chain or Nadix that goes up and then comes back down. You know, I don't know about High Mapper and some of these other ones, but I don't know what's going on with this. Was it that earlier we were all unstaking? I know there's a lot of y'all told me y'all were unstaking your grass. I unstaked my grass. I still have grass, but I unstaked it from the BitHarvest server or whatever it is because I wanted to be able to sell it as soon, like when I'm ready, when I'm pissed off enough at them, which has happened many times, but I want to be able to sell it. Or if they do a drop, I want to sell a little bit of it, you know. But you know, this is crazy. This is. I just want to know. I want to know why grass is doing this. Or you said you're taking the chance. Would you take a chance? You buying more XRP? Or you just gonna hold on to your XRP? Look, I got a bag of XRP. I bought it at 65.70 cents. I told y'all I mined XRP through pro hashing years and years ago. Got a bag of it. It was worth, you know, whatever it was worth, dollar something, whatever it was worth back in the day before the SEC crap happened. And I don't know if it was Wendy-O or if it was BitBoy or Tyler or around the blockchain, but one of them said XRP is about to take a huge dump because the SEC is coming after it. And I was at work and milled something and I sold it, all of it. And it was at dollar something. Yeah. Was it here? Something around here? I don't remember. I don't remember exactly what it was, where it was. But I sold it. And eventually went down to something. And then I actually, when it was down, and it was like 40 or 50 cents, in this 30-cent range, somewhere around there, I bought a bag of it back. Not a huge bag, because I didn't know what the hell was going to happen to it. But I got a bag now, not a lot. I mean, I could tell you, you let XRP fall back to like $1 or something like that in the bear market, I'd probably buy some more of it just to see if it goes up to $3. I've said it before, like, you know, sometimes in crypto, people try to chase these like 10Xs and 100Xs and 50Xs. I've always looked at it as if I can 5X in this token and 5X in this token and 5X in this token, is that technically like a 15X of your money when you think about it totally? That's kind of like why I like to diversify into other tokens. You heard my story the other day about the Dogecoin bikini that told me about Telcoin. You better go. It's still up 38.54% for a month. Oh, I wanted to see that. Down 20% in a month. Telling you, 21 cents, 16 cents. Think about it. Even if it goes back to 16 cents, it's a 16x from under a penny. And yeah, I'll hold a bag of Vitho also, which is the gas for it. This is why I hold it. Because if it ever goes back to, 2 cents, that's a pretty good day of profit. But I don't know. Tell me what else y'all like. If you're not gonna get into Bitcoin, what else do y'all like? On the project, I can't hold onto altcoins anymore. If the team is around, then XDC is something I've never messed with. XDC is something I have never messed with. I just wondered, are you ever, are we chasing dreams, hopes and dreams by thinking these alt tokens are going to see all-time high again? No, because I remember watching George talking about altcoins, and he don't talk about altcoins a lot. He's a very Bitcoin person. You watch George any day of the week, and this is the perfect time to buy Bitcoin. You don't have to look even at the chart or the fear and greed index. Today's a great day to buy Bitcoin. Let me tell you why. So that he's famous for that. But he talked about altcoins before this bull season was about to start. He even said, people want to say, I'm getting into this altcoin in case it gets back to this all-time high. But that was the last bull run's all-time high. You have to look at it as the next alt season, you're going to make a new all-time high in all these tokens. Now we don't know, the way we look at it, we don't know if we're ever going to hit all-time highs again. I admit when I'm wrong. Y'all know that. That's what y'all like about this channel. Watch some goofball sits here and says he was wrong the whole time. But I'm still waiting for $700 Solana. I was calling for $700 Solana, and that was on the low scale. I'm like, let me be safe. People are calling between a $700 to $1,000 Solana this alt season, this bull run. But I ain't making that crazy. I'm just gonna say, because it was at 300 already at one point, and we weren't even at alt season or bull run yet. And we were at 300 at one point with Solana. Remember that? And what happened to that? We're not even at 200 right now. And with so much stuff being built in Solana being used, all-time high, $294 10 months ago. It hit 300. Maybe on some exchanges. But I had one crawfish left. I had to grab it. Didn't want it to lose its life for no reason. But I love Solana. I love Solana. People like, oh, they got all them stupid memes on it. So what? That's use. That's them building, even just building a meme token. All these memes constantly, you're using that network. I always looked at it as a good thing. I don't know. We talked about Adam. I used to love Adam, but I feel like it's the girlfriend that cheated on me or something. Like, it was at $40. But I still say, I want to say with Adam, see how max supply is infinity? That's scary. So you had 500, basically 500 million. You had a $500 million. So what we say? 10 billion should be about a penny. That's what, like Wingbits and stuff. I keep thinking that would be 10 cents for $1 billion. So $500 million, you would think anything over $1 is good. That's why I think this token supply must have really gone up. But what I like about Cosmos Atom is Exodus, because I have all my Cosmos staked in Exodus for years. It's got a 24% staking on it. 24%. That's crazy. Roy said he wants to look at RSCP. I think we looked at RSCP Tuesday, didn't we, Roy? And I'll still say you'll never see this again. But this is the same thing. This is just like Adam. Maximum supply is infinity. Got a $500 million, 500 million circulating supply. That's why I think you'll never see this price again. Hell, this morning was $9. Oh, you know what's gonna happen. I still think a lot of this is manipulated, and I still say what you're gonna see here is I think these bulls. I'm gonna tell you what Tyler in another video I watched, and I can't remember who it was, thinks majority of this crap is exchange manipulation, Binance exchange manipulation. Because what happens is you still have people. Try to get the price thing over here. You still have people who keep trying to play this market, and they know at some point this is going to bounce back. Whether it's here, 56,000, someone's bouncing back, and they keep trying to time it perfectly and not using stop losses and trying to use 10x or 100x leverage, and they keep opening longs at some point, trying to guess it right, and they get stomped out. I read earlier about how many billions of dollars got stomped out, of hundreds of millions or something like that. Sooner or later, when exchanges start seeing enough people saying, okay, I got screwed over enough, and enough people open up shorts, the CEX is going to manipulate again, stomp the shorts out, and you're going to have a bounce back. That's what I think is going to happen. ETH doesn't have a max supply either, but they have the burning mechanism, and they haven't had the price drop like ETH and ICP have had over the years. It's going the other way, but forget, George used to talk about that all the time, is the amount of ETH that's getting burned constantly. But them gas fees are outrageous. I still don't know why anybody or how anybody builds and has faith in Ethereum. Forget what we messing with. One of our projects was messing with Ethereum, and just to move it in MetaMask, or claiming it MetaMask. The fees were outrageous. It's stupid. Not as bad as 375 AIs on Solana, but still stupid. ISP has its own. Listen, I've heard a lot of good things about ISP. I'm not knocking it at all. I mean, I made a comment about the max supply just because I saw it also, but ICP I've heard a lot of good things about. A lot of people on YouTube I watched talked about it. I have nothing really negative to say about the project itself at all. It's just something I've never, in my stupid logic, I've always just related it to Insane Clown Posse. I just can't get that out of my head. But I mean, I don't, there was, I don't want to sit here and try to find it, but there was something on X earlier about, the government talking about crypto is still dumping. We are lowering rates again soon, still dumping. We got pro crypto policies coming out, still dumping. President talks about tariffs, dumping. Tariffs have been calmed down or something like that. It had some kind of wording. I'm paraphrasing it. Dumping. Like it had about 10 things listed. And they kept saying next to it, dumping, Bitcoin dumping. And then it's like, to me, that just points to more manipulation. When Binance owns as much as they have, because everybody says it's Binance, they can manipulate. I mean, think about it. I mean, other than this whale selling, and that was all over the counter, you really haven't had anything in the news that should be causing this. Let me tell you something. This dude right here is wild. He is. Everybody's losing their minds. Everybody's losing their minds. Oh. I'm hoping they would have something related to crypto, some kind of news or something to give us a hint on what the hell is going on. Do I need to get a job? Make sure y'all all attend next week's token holders call. That's got to be mass chaos. With the amount of people involved in grass, that has to be mass chaos. And everything's gonna be about when am I getting rewards? When am I getting rewards? When y'all rewarding? So Wingbits has, remember we talked about this the other night? We didn't know how many stations Wingbits had. Wingbits has 5,000 plus. And it has slowed down some, but I still see Wingbits stations being sold. Wait, did y'all know this? I did not know this. Did y'all know Tactical Investing lost his YouTube channel? because of harmful and dangerous policy. Look, YouTube, if you're watching right now, I love everybody. Grumpy, the whole grumpy thing is just a inside joke, okay? I'm not grumpy. I love everybody and think everybody should get along, and I wish for world peace. Just in case anybody from YouTube or the algorithm's watching. I love y'all. I love everybody. And I promise to, if I ever win big with crypto, I promise to donate some of it to some charity that needs it. World peace. Dude, that's crazy. That's great. Like, I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine coming on here to do my live, waking up to an email that says, "Yeah, we just shut down your channel because of harmful stuff." I mean, the closest I got shut down was when Goofball from DFly tried to get me kicked off because of copyright infringement. The same videos that he shared about DFly, that he shared to people and shared all over the place, that I had his permission, of course, for. As soon as me and him had it all fallen out, then he wants to go to YouTube and say it was copyright infringement. And YouTube backed him. I lost my appeals on that. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Crazy times we live in. World peace. Educational purposes only. Entertainment purposes only. Entertainment purposes only. Damn it, Dave. I love saying that. Damn it, Dave. And I'm saying damn it because I have a spare computer over here on my separate network I have at my house I pay for that has grass and EarnApp and all that crazy stuff running on it. And I've been wanting to mess with night mining. That's the one that you do from Chrome or whatever. Y'all keep talking about it. I wanted to try it out, and I keep forgetting. I ain't got time to mess with it, but I want to try it out. Somebody told me, one of y'all sent me instructions on it. Mr. Glenn, the old man, still texting me trying to get me to help him with his Wingbits station. Put the green on and reboot. And after 10 minutes, check the dashboard. Whew. Let's see if I can find it. One of y'all told me about. Hey, is Alex multi-mining on here? Game Shark. Game Shark sent it to me. So wait, what sense does it make that it's over with? Like, hey, we mined enough and we just closing shop and that's it? Like had 8 desktops on Newfie and 3 servers on Nocturne. What the hell is that? Is that all the same thing? Night, Newfie, and Nocturne, or is that different projects? So it was a 21-day mining. What's a 21-day mining? Like, is it part of like a different project, just a way to get attention to the project or something? World peace, not gonna be Miss America. Yeah. You don't want to see me in a bikini, brother. I can tell you that right now. Do not want to see me in bikini. Every time I even sniff the gym now, or think about the gym, I pull a back muscle or something. It's crazy. Damn it. Damn it, Dave. He did sell over the counter. There was a little bit that went through. In one place I heard it was all over the counter. Then one place said it was through KuCoin. But does KuCoin have over the counter services also? Or was some of it on KuCoin? But majority of it was over the counter, and it still don't. I think people just word got out that a big gigantic whale and other whales have been selling, and people are effing panicking over it. Damn it, Dave. Dude, I'm gonna say that all night. It's so cool. What else? There was something else I wanted to talk about. Wingbits next week. They're they broke my heart with the moving the whole AMA thing. I never thought people would get triggered over coffee, but I can kind of understand. But entropy, it just apparently what it is this nitro or whoever this is, whatever company this is, Raposa. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Raposa is a company that if you own ABC Electronics and you have like a big anniversary party coming up, you can pay Raposa to do ABC Electronics coffee. You give them what you want for the label, and they'll produce X amount of cans for you, and you can give it out or sell it for your anniversary party. So Entropy, trying to keep the brand name alive and all the networking they do, came out with this. He had some people in my Discord pissed off about it. And look, I can understand that token has taken a serious hit. Our rewards have taken a serious hit. We went from a year ago at this time making $45 a day to $20 a day to $10 a day, then $5 a day, and now we're at 73 cents a day, maybe. Is that what it is? So look, I can understand, and I have to apologize because I was a little 42 cents a day. You're still making the same amount of tokens, 17,000 tokens, just that they're worth, But look, like I said, I got a little irritated, but people bitched and they thought that, yeah, they sold these Astros and now they're going away and they're just going to sit here and travel, and they dumped all their tokens and they ain't worried about us no more. So then they do this, and there was something else they were doing also. Oh, this exchange thing that they're trying to do. And then people bitching about that. I'm like, but y'all bitch that they weren't around anymore doing anything, just living off our money. Now they are doing stuff and y'all bitching. Like, I get it. Jay Styles, we don't talk about that. That's something we don't talk about. That's in my Discord rules. You're not allowed to ask Grumpy about how much he lost with Entropy. You're gonna get timed out on the server. Hey man, sometimes the writing's on the wall and you just don't want to see it. Listen, I've told y'all before, and I'll stick to this, and I'll still say the same thing. I'm not an idiot, despite what my wife will tell y'all. I know how the game works. I know that with all those miners coming online, that the rewards were going to take a hit. What I did not expect was the token price going from let's take a look. Let's see. So this is November. So August price was 0.0. So it was 3 times what it is now. 7.5. We're making $2 a day. That's what I like about my little spreadsheet. Every Monday when I do or Tuesday I do my video, y'all see it on Tuesday, I do it on Monday. All I do is I add another tab on the bottom. Let me see if I can raise it up, y'all. I just add another tab on the bottom. So like, this is what I made this week. This is what I made this week. This is what I made this week. And you can see how much it's changed. But we're making $30 a day. 0.002, 3 zeros. And it was about November. Wasn't it about November when they kind of announced these Astros? I remember it was hunting season. I remember I was hunting and we were talking about it, or that's when you could first buy NFTs or something like that. Here I am right here. This is November 11th. I'm making $27 a day. GeoNets was 14 cents. Demo was 15 cents. $61 a day. $61 a day. Then look, I ain't stupid. We knew that as more people came on, $61 a day. Then the next week was $56 a day. See, while these tabs let me go back and do some research, sometimes it's very depressing. And at one point, I just quit telling y'all how many tokens I earned. And eventually, one of y'all talked me into just getting rid of this whole column, and I just got rid of the whole column. Hell, even back in September, we're making $1 a day. Yep, so that's how my entropy bags fell. Like I said, I totally knew. I'm not stupid. I need a haircut so bad. I'm not stupid. I realized and I knew that the amount of tokens would go down. I was not expecting at all, because I kept telling myself that, but it doesn't matter how many people get Astros, because if they sell, they're going to be booted out. I don't even know how that works anymore. I know you get like 7 chances with the Jeter deleter, but I mean, if you get an Astro today, hell, it takes you a week just to earn like $4. I just wasn't expecting that price to fall that much. I think that was part of it. But it is what it is. Oh, Jay Styles asked, what did those guys who bought Astros and sold right away make? Some of the YouTubers who did that and sold said like $500 profit on what the Ashler NFT cost. Well, you had people selling just the NFTs, and that's where I fucked up at. That's where I screwed up. I mean, I screwed up a number of different ways with this project, and I can admit it. I bought extra NFTs. I wish I would have bought more, thinking my logic was, hey, if I go and just sell tokens on Jupe or whatever, Swap or whatever, then I'll get in trouble. But if I buy, you could buy NFTs with your And at one time it was like unlimited NFTs with your, I think that's why D Vaselino's got like 15 NFTs. But my thought was, hey, I can go buy NFTs, buy extra, even though I only need like 3 or 4 of them. I can go buy extra NFTs. And then I can sell those NFTs I don't need. And if I can sell them for $200, $300, $400 a pop, then technically that's like me selling my entropy. And that's how I thought about it. And as usual, when people were selling those NFTs, I drug my feet. And now NFTs ain't going for chit. CHIT, YouTube. CHIT, chit. They're not going for chit. And that's one place I screwed up at. You know, I had 3 ESP32s going because they gave me creds for that. And I got 4 Ashlers. 2 I paid for. 1 the entropy team gave me as a gift. What's his name went and picked it up for me and shipped it for me. No. And they sent me one. Then Helium Deploy sent me one. But I also paid out of pocket. What's his name went down to Solana store in New York, and I transferred him Solana. I think it was Solana. But I transferred him whatever the price was, $140, whatever, and he bought one and then shipped it to me. So I bought that one, and then I bought another one, Helium Deploy. So I paid out of pocket for them for some of these things. People think I got them all for free. No, I didn't get them all for free. But yeah, I know what my wallet looked like before, and it was crazy. And I know what it looks like now, and it makes me cry. But what you gonna do? What's his name? Joe. The YouTuber Joe. He bragged. I was watching one of his lives one night, and he thought it was the greatest decision he's ever made in his crypto career. But he basically said, and I used to follow him a lot. I used to watch him a lot. But he talked about how, I'm trying to find him on YouTube. If one of y'all know it, say it. But it's something Joe. He used to be in entropy a lot, and he got kicked out of entropy. But he bragged how he sold. Again, he was in it before me, and he sold over $1,000 worth of his entropy. Got kicked out the project because back then there wasn't even that was before there was even a G deleter. Basically, the team watched, and anybody who sold a decent amount got kicked out. And then at the same time he's on live, he's like, "Oh, look, Grumpy's here." And he saw me just lurking in the room somehow. It might have been on Twitter. But anyway. Yeah, I definitely should have sold NFTs in the beginning. But anyway, Joe something, whatever his name was. Then he started bashing the shit out of Wingbits. And I thought me and him were cool. I don't know if it was just coincidental, but I took it as a slight towards me because he's like, "Hey guys, look, it's Grumpy, man. Thanks for joining, whatever. Let me tell y'all, I sold my entropy. Screw that project." And then he just rolls into Wingbits and just starts slamming Wingbits with just some complete bullshit that was completely not true at all. And I took that as a slight towards me, to be honest with you. Like, here's this old guy that's coming along as a YouTuber, is in love with Wingbits, and I took it personal. I'm not gonna lie to you. And y'all know me, I'm grumpy and old. I mean, I didn't go home and I didn't go cuddle up to my wife and said, "Oh, in the bed, Joe made fun of me on live." Though I don't give 2 shits about it, but I still think that's why he was telling everybody, like, nobody's gonna buy this Wingbit stuff. Everybody, people can just go download Radar Box or whatever it is and get all this information, which is completely not true. Completely not. Radar Exchange or whatever they are, FlightAware, don't let them, they sell to commercial. That's how we knew this. And you look at the contracts now Wingbits has, and you kiss my ass, Joe. But I took it personal. I took it that, you know, I'm trying to remember who the hell that was. Dave, I got your DM. I'll take care of it when I get off of the thing. I appreciate it. Well, come on, somebody, one of y'all got to know who Joe is. Now it's killing me, and it's been killing me until I get off of here, and then trying to figure out who the hell what Joe was that was on Twitter. And yeah, come on, he used to do a live, and it was like, and like I got 11 people here, and he had half that. But y'all make sure you hit the like button before y'all leave. I see some of y'all leaving. I guess we're getting boring now. That's how I know my cue is start to. You know, I could hang out here until 11 o'clock tonight. I don't care. But, you know, I know it'd just be me and 2 other people. But is who fought it here? I know I made a negative comment about Trump, and I didn't see him get a boner and start slamming him. But Joe Biden, Network Joe. Is it Network Joe? Network Joe? Something to do with Joe. It was so Joe something. Wasn't it Joe? Oh. For some reason, all my ex chats have been scrambled up and screwed up. Maybe it wasn't Joe. Maybe it was something else. You know it's gonna kill me, right? And I know I shouldn't be ignoring y'all, but it's like it's gonna sit here now and bother. Yes, he was in Helium Network, bitch Joe. Is he not on YouTube anymore? I mean, in X Network bits. I don't know. I guess so. Yeah, that's it. That is him. But it seems like all the links that people highlighted him in don't work no more. But that is him because there's a picture of him that he was doing a thing with Crank. But that is him. And I look, me and him talked on X, like in private message, and I thought we were cool as shit. And like I said, I had no problem. And I watched him. And then he sees me in the live and he's like, "Oh guys, look, it's Grumpy, man. Hey, what's going on?" And then he just starts slamming Entropy, brags how he sold over 1,000, and slams the shit out of Wingbits. And I'm like, really, dude? Like, I took it, like I said, I took it as look, he might have not meant nothing by it. He might have had that on his agenda to talk about it. And I haven't watched him since. I left right after that, 2 minutes after that, and I'm like, okay, dude, peace out. So I don't know. Let's go, Brandon. Oh, Joe Biden. Yeah, that was way past Joe Biden's bedtime. Maybe one day I'll see y'all in person and tell y'all the personal stories about Joe Biden when he came down here after Hurricane Ida. Let me tell you, if you were a Democrat and you voted for that dude, the media was hiding so much from you, it was a shame. He was a frail old man, and when I saw him, and we saw what he was dealing with. You know, you always hear about this conspiracy with the media hiding stuff, but he was a frail old man, and they hid it so well. And I didn't personally have a conversation with him, somebody I know did. I don't want to give out too much because I don't like talking about my work life, my real work life that has to pay the bills still. But homeboy didn't know what planet he was on, and that was 2021. But hey, man, that's what America voted for, you know. So don't worry, we're gonna have AOC to vote for in what was it, 3 years? It's gonna be great. Might be moving up to Canada with who fought it. Okay, we ain't gonna talk about politics. I'm gonna lose everybody. Guys, I know there's been several people that asked me this. I have not, make sure I'm clear on this. I have not received in my possession. I don't have a tracking number. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Y'all know I don't lie to y'all. A tracking number even saying a 4D sky is coming to my house or to my work. I don't want to be, oh hell, them on I lied. I just received a tracking number for 4D sky. So let me rephrase that. I now have in my possession a FedEx tracking number. Just a tracking number with the message, a 4D sky is on its way to me. That's me being honest. So no, I have not seen a 4D sky in person. I have seen, if y'all were here, for those of y'all who were here Tuesday, I told y'all when I got off of live and after I went, used the bathroom and popped some popcorn and made a little drink and came back, I was going to go watch a couple of 4D sky videos just to start doing my little homework on it. And just from looking at those videos and going off of what those YouTubers said, they said it looks like a sturdy device. But I think it was Who Fought It made a comment about, you know, will the 4D sky have some problems like Wingbits devices have had in extreme temperatures? And again, I'm in South Louisiana. Like one day last year, we got down to like 15, 16 degrees with that snow. In Louisiana, we get about 2 to maybe 3 weekends, 2 days here, 3 days here of freezing temperatures. And I'm talking about 30 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's it. We get some 100+ degree days. And with the heat index and 100% humidity, we get hot. But knock on wood, when my WB200 was hooked up and working during those times, I never had issues with them. And I have almost all of my 14 DIY stations are in outdoor enclosures, and they are outside. And I've never had a problem with weather. But anyway, so he asked about the 4D sky. My comment back was the 4D sky, from what it looks like, cannot go outside. So everybody kind of took that as, oh, well, Grumpy must have one then. No, I'm just looking at the videos. To me, I'm going to tell you, it looks like I know Sense Cap don't make it, so nobody has to correct me, but it looks like a Sense Cap enclosure that, looks like a Sense Cap enclosure, just colored red, white, something like that. I mean, that's. See, I mean, that looks like a Sense Cap to me. It looks like a Sense Cap enclosure. Look at it. Does it not? It's even got the push buttons like a Sense Cap would. I mean, this guy's got an outdoor enclosure. I spoke to Helium Deploy for y'all. When we went online and saw that the price was like $1,100, and I flipped out because 4D Sky was selling these things for $750. Helium Deploy then put them on their website that the drop was happening. Back then it was 2 weeks, and it was gonna be $900 something. Then when we checked the Tuesday night, said it was $1,100. I'm like, holy hell! Helium deploy, my contact said, no, it was a mistake. I think it got double bumped up. And what I'm told is that oh no, that ain't true either. I'm gonna have to get it corrected again. See, I'm gonna have to get clarification on this, because what I was told when I asked what's the difference between the 700 and y'all selling for 900, Helium Deploy said, well, that's because now it's going to include antennas. From what I was told, and if anybody knows different, please y'all can correct me. I'm just telling you what I was told, was that originally, if you bought this from 4D Sky during, was it the alpha, the beta phase, the few people that bought them already, for $700, you got no antennas. You got the box. You got the Air Squitter box. Then you had to run the feed line, and you had to provide the feed line and then the main antenna. This antenna right here is only for Wi-Fi. So basically, this is what you got for $700. So with Helium Deploy, you're getting the worldwide single antenna, whatever the hell that means. Extreme range tracks aircraft with 250 miles. This is gonna be just like Wingbits. The higher, the better, as long as you're using quality feed line. But if you want FLARM or you want 978 Mode S, whatever all that is, you got to get into it. But my thing is like, why? Because I can get a 978 antenna on Amazon that's damn good for less than half this price. And this is just copy and pasted because CW is ham. And these things don't output any power. The one good thing I will tell y'all, listen, and I've told y'all many times, I'm hoping some of y'all got a chance to play with it, is this Moken DEPIN Tracker Pro thing. I like it. I like it. I don't know if y'all had a chance to play with it. If y'all buy stuff from, depending on what y'all buy from Helium Deploy, y'all can get this, for, a couple of months for free and play with it and stuff like that. I like it. It's a good way to easy track all your devices and stuff. Believe it's everything. Like Helium Deploy tells you that this is an outdoor antenna that needs to be placed right here. Antenna must have good visibility of the sky. Install on rooftop mast or in roof attic. I'm telling you right now, this is not Helium. Do not put this in your attic. Especially if you have aluminum shielding or the aluminum foil shielding or whatever it is on your roof. I know some of the newer houses have that. Look, this is not Helium. Do not put these things in your roof. My sister, back when we started deflowered, and eventually she went to Wingbits with me, but she has a very, very, very strict HOA. So we tried putting one of the good gray 5.5 dBIs antennas in her attic, and she got 10, and she literally lives over the flight path of New Orleans International Airport. As it comes from the North Shore, comes from the north, that's how it starts its landing pattern, then comes across Lake Pontchartrain and lands in New Orleans. And she was getting 10 to 12 planes at the most in the busy part of the day with it in the attic. I went out there again with, I even did a video on it with a black antenna because she had black gutters. I then put electric tape over the chrome bracket. I took, the U-bolts off so it would sit flat against her black gutters. Put tape around the silver buckle or whatever you call it for the bracket. Black zip ties. And even with the black antenna, she's getting at least, it ain't a lot, but it's 35 or 40. So she's in the game a little bit. her back of her house is wide open. That's which way the planes come from. So any planes coming into New Orleans International, she sees them at least. So, you know, she ain't getting 200 miles, but she's in the game. She just wanted to be part of the game. My point is the attics don't work. I know it's a long story. I talk too much. The attics don't work. Attics don't work. You think we can buy better antennas to boost the signal for D-Sky? I'm not gonna know that until I get it in my hands. Y'all know I cut my teeth on my YouTube channel 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago with antenna testing because I mess with antennas all day at work. I can guarantee you I'm gonna test some antennas. What I am gonna tell you though is I'm gonna be pretty damn it Dave pissed off at, you know, I can't say damn. If I say damn it Dave, I'm in a name and I can't get in trouble. I'll be pretty pissed off. I spent not $1,000 on an air squitter. I gotta go change out the antenna and spend $50 more on an Amazon antenna. But we're gonna see. Tomorrow I'm going to swap out. I got my I got my WB200 set up with a stock antenna at my location, and tomorrow I'm going to swap out. I was supposed to go yesterday. I got busy. I was supposed to go today and got busy. I'm in the middle of almost a $500,000 Motorola order for some radios, and it's like car sales negotiations. Hey, it's the end of the year, end of the quarter. They're hurting, so I know they're gonna give more discount. It just sucks that you have to play that game with them. But that's all I'm dealing with at work right now. So therefore, and then I'm part of a task force for a certain part of the state. This gigantic mutual aid task force with like 6. You know, we have parishes down here, not counties, and for 6 different parishes. And I was so busy with this Motorola thing. I was supposed to go to a meeting yesterday, and I didn't go, and it was election day. And I got voted in as vice chairman over this huge freaking organization. And I'm like, wait, I wasn't even there to accept the nomination. And what I was told on the phone was, no, you weren't there to say you turned down the nomination. So, hey, my boss is all excited about it because he's like, hey, man, with all the peers you had down there, and he voted you for that. And I'm like, I can't handle no more. Like, I'm pulling my hair out of my head. Look, I need a haircut, but not the top. Like, I just need a haircut to cut the gray out. Like, I'm losing. I barely sleep now. I'm concentrating so much on all this and 2 other YouTube channels and hunting and collecting cans on the side of the road to pay bills and all that stuff like that. Selling a huge chunk of my crow just to pay bills the last 2 days. I told y'all Tuesday about the AT&T bill. And if I tell y'all again, my wife probably will divorce me because she lost her shit, CHIT, when I told that story. But I told her I like to be real with y'all. This is a real YouTube channel. This is real life. This is not YouTubers with skyscrapers behind us pretending like we live in this big life. This is real life. I got a kid in college, a kid in high school. They're killing me, bleeding me dry. And she lost her shit when she knew I told you all the story about our AT&T problem the other day. But anyway, my point of that long story was, if I have to pay for more antennas with this, I'm going to lose my CHIT. This should be the Cadillac for $975. This should be the Cadillac best freaking antenna known to man. And the fact that you have to go buy a Florm antenna or a 978 antenna is horse CHIT. Which reminds me, I do need to buy another antenna, but I can't afford it right now. Putting up a new DIY station. I'm starting to separate my Bit Harvest devices and just some of them. Taking Bit Harvest off, going back to a helium. And I'm trying to decide the way you want to do helium. I'm in Mesh-tastic or Mesh Core. I can use those 915 megahertz antennas, put that up with going back to just a regular standard Pi, put my DIY device for Wingbits on it, put Earn app on it because Earn app's going on everything. And I'm trying to decide, but I do need another antenna. Out of stock. Y'all some no good. Y'all some no good. Mother, damn it, Dave. Oh, y'all killing me. This, like, and people think I'm just losing, like I'm joking it. Like, this antenna, I've tested all of them. Tested all of them. This is the antenna. This is the antenna that every now and then my buddy's tower, I get 100 and something hexes on. People always asking me how I'm getting all these hexes. This is the antenna. I've tried a bunch of them. I've left a bunch of them on friends, not these, but like the other ones, and I'm constantly out doing them. The 5.5 is the sweet spot. I've did countless videos on it. People will still argue with me all day on Wingbits. Y'all don't listen to me? Don't listen to me. This is a 978 antenna. I'm going to test this and see if it outperforms on the 4D Sky. Well, I was until I realized that y'all bought them all. This is my second best antenna. It seems like all right, this one. This is my second best antenna. Usually it's significantly more price. It's crazy because every time you come to it, it's got a different price. This is a flight aware antenna. It's got 2 or 3 little inches extra. And I mean, the other one has 2 or 3 inches extra. That doesn't make a difference. That's what she said. But you got people who argue with me that the 12 dBi one's got to be better. This isn't helium. I used to get in fights with people with helium saying these, 6-foot long sticks that were 9 and 8 dBis are better for helium. People would show me that stupid little picture, and I'm like, throw that picture out the window. This is real world stuff, but this is not helium. We're trying to get planes 40, 50,000 feet in the air. My buddy didn't listen to me. He's in ham. He thinks he knows everything. He knows a lot about Motorola, but he bought 12 dBi. He has the same height on his as I have on some other stations, and my 5.5 blows his 12 out the water. Huge, significant difference. 32 feet of this thin ass cable, you can throw that hit in the trash. Early on Wingbits, in the Wingbits Discord, somebody talked about LMR 300. He showed me the Amazon. I know some of y'all have bought different things on and different feed lines. Has anybody look? I've been in RF for years. I've seen the 240, RG58, LMR 400, LMR 600 if you can find it, real LMR 600. I've never seen the LMR 300 before. And I looked on my feed line charts that have the 240 and the RG8 and RG8X and LMR 240, LMR 400, LMR 600. They don't have LMR 300. But Amazon was selling the LMR 300. I don't know what the hell it is. Roar, I just got your DM. I'm looking at it now. It threw me off because your name's different. So okay, this is where this confusion comes in. So is this the same as 619? I didn't know if you were still here or not. I was going to call you out. Yes, it was. If you go look on the Wingbits Discord on the equipment or the setup channel, not the regular general channel, the setup channel, you'll see he posted a link of the Amazon, or posted a picture of it with LMR 300, and I even questioned it. If you see it, it says LMR 300 ? Drop a link in here of your preferred, but my preferred's out of stock, dog. I will, give me a second. But so, because look, my ADD's out of control right now. Roar. I saw somebody else talking about this, that this is a bundle for an air squitter. Not necessarily. So my point is there something you have to do this to make it compatible with 4D Sky? Because from what Helium Deploy, with the deal that they normally work, like they did this with some of the other previous projects. Once Helium Deploy starts selling it, they have, like, for a certain period of time, that's the exclusive place you can sell it. And supposedly that's why if you go to 4D Sky, you can't buy it from 4D Sky no more. You have to purchase it from Helium Deploy. When you go to 4D Sky and press purchase or shop now, it's an auto link that sends you to Helium Deploy. Too bad I don't know how to hack that, and I can just put my code automatically in that. But anyway, this bundle includes air squitter form for ADSB, 5 antenna. Now I gotta come to my fancy conversion because y'all don't know how to use the right kind of measurements. Y'all got this centimeter crap. 55 centimeters, 21 inches. It's kind of short. Just kind of a little bit. That's what she said. But because even the flight aware one, which is a damn good antenna, but usually this thing at one point was like $69. It's down to 55. But this is a 60 centimeters, a little bit longer. And then the one I showed was 26 inches. 26 inches is 66 centimeters. But if you look at almost all my videos, even when I'm talking about something completely different, I've had so many people ask me about this antenna, especially when they've seen there's a bragging dashboard or whatever it's called on Wingbits channel, where you get to show your results and people see the hexes I get. I have so many people ask me about this antenna. There's a link in every one of my videos for this antenna. I'm posting my link now for it. But like I said, right now, it's sold out. But it sells out every now and then eventually they get a couple more in. But I am curious about this air squitter thing. But listen, and look, I would love for all y'all to buy one and use my code. And then I'll get slammed by people in Discord and YouTube about, I'll just do videos for people using my code because me making $1.39 off of a Brusho toothbrush is supposed to be able to pay my family to eat tonight. But You know me, I'm honest with y'all. Paying $1,000 for a device that ain't going to TGE for another 7 months, 6, 7 months. But I shared earlier in my Discord. While I was eating lunch earlier, I don't even know if it's set up right. I did it from my phone. I set up a 4D Sky and just passed. I got an email as a customer of Helium Deploy. You know, they capitalized on this Wingbits thing. You know, if you're trying to deploy a Wingbits device, only to find that the ideal location, your hex, was already claimed, the frustration's over. For under $1,000, barely. Project it's fundamentally different than Wingbits. Force Sky requires 2 kilometer radius with no one near you. Requires a 2 kilometer with no one near you for max rewards. And then somewhere they talked about, and if somebody does come on top of you, you continue to make max rewards. You don't get cut, kneecapped. I don't know how that's going to work, especially when it gets more popular, but that's what I read somewhere is that. Looking funky, he's hungry, trying to get out of crypto, and now it starts to come out. You know, it's easy for me to say because I'm getting one for free, the demo for y'all. But like I said, I'd love for all y'all to buy one and use my code when y'all buy it, please. But y'all know I'm real with y'all. I'll be real with y'all and I'm going to hurt myself. I keep telling y'all, I go to some of these public safety meetings, and without trying to tell y'all too much so I don't get in trouble, but especially when it gets around these big events, Super Bowl, hurricanes, Mardi Gras, last year at Las Vegas, they had that, or year before that, they had that, what was it, the F1 race or whatever, and they caught the guy with the drone detection, and every other company was trying to claim, including DFly, that was a freaking joke, was trying to make claim that their software is the one that caught that drone detection. Listen, there's some big people swinging some big penises involved in this drone detection thing. Now, I'm not going to sit and say that maybe some of these 4D Skies and some of these other companies that you can, like I told you the other day, that there was another company that come out. This is getting worse than weather. Flight Grid, new company. They got 25 followers on X. But this is getting just as bad as the weather. Who's sitting around a table saying, you know what, I think crypto needs another drone detection program. That's it. That's a great idea. Great idea. How many more do you need? I know some of y'all don't know some of these names, but like Axon, who is the leader of Taser, like the Taser that 90% of the departments carry, and body cameras. They bought out some company like body, then they bought out somebody else and bought out somebody else. And now they're into drone detection. So all these departments that love Axon and love their tasers and love their in-car cameras and love their body cameras and love all the other goofy stuff they have, who do you think they're going with? Because they get a package deal. Then you have what, Drodec, isn't that another one that is doing drone detection? And like I said, and then when you watch for Super Bowl is you got some secret special 3-letter organizations that come out with some real drone detection. Wind Talker drone detection, Artos drone detection radar, drones. Robin's radar system, D-drone. I think D-drone is D-drone by Axon. Told y'all. This is whom a lot of people use them. How is Bobby and Joe, who have coming out with their own drone detection, going to compete against D-drone? Axon's got more money than any of them companies. So it's 4D Sky. I'm really not actually concentrating on that, but so actually Jolly 99 in my Discord says there's a lot of big dogs doing the same thing. Honeywell, which is huge. Garmin, Arion, I've heard of them. Never heard of Flight. Spider, Skytrack, Blue Sky, Theos, Flight Aware, Flightworth, L3 Harris. He's talking about flight tracking. So anyway, the boat's trying to make some scratch. Hey, listen, I'm all about the American dream or wherever they're from. Trying to do that. But you also have to know the space you're getting into. And, you know, I live in Louisiana where we have, at least the area I live in, 2 or 3 parishes north, 2 or 3 parishes south, all these petroleum plants that are always under guard. It's illegal to fly drones over the top of them. They all got drone detection or some of drone detection. They're always looking for some new drone detection. But you have a company like Drodec or whatever it was called, whatever one it was, from Axon, who can come in and say, look, we'll give you not only drone detection, but we'll even throw in some license plate cameras. So every single car coming in and out of this plant, because this is like bad stuff that these plants have, petroleum, well, a bomb or something happens in it, it's bad. So they're under a lot of homeland security type regulations and stuff like that. The gasoline refinery that is literally about 7 miles, maybe 5 miles straight north of me as the bird flies. South of me. Marathon Refinery in Garyville, Louisiana. Up until about 2 years ago was the largest gasoline refinery in the United States. If they had to shut down, gas prices would go crazy. Recently in Galveston or that area over there, Marathon or Beaumont, that area of Texas, they recently, in the last year or two, just made a big expansion and they're now the biggest. So that's the second largest. My point is, they're all looking for this type of drone detection. So you have a drone detection company like Axon, the size of Axon, the size of Motorola, the size of some of these other ones that can come in and say, look, we'll sell you the drone detection and we'll also throw in LPR cameras that can monitor every car that comes in and out. Where you can also, if you know there's a bad character, a bad employee, an ex-employee, you can flag his license plate. If it comes in, all kinds of alarms go off and do all this stuff. And not only will we do that, we'll also throw in this and we'll also offer you this and do this other stuff. How are they going to compete against that? And by the way, we've been doing drone detection now for X amount of years. And let me show you how, hey, even if this guy with this drone alters his frequency, like some of these other drone detections have, they're looking for drones on the stock frequency. But the bad characters aren't stupid. They go in there, and they alter the stock frequency, which would then 90% of these drone detection companies are now obsolete. So you have to have a company that can detect a drone. And not only you're detecting drone, you also have to detect the guy on the ground. That's what was wild to me during the Super Bowl in Mardi Gras, because we had teams on the ground. We would say, hey, there's a drone over the French Quarter at this location, which was all TFR. That you were not allowed to fly. It was a no-fly zone. But we would get scrambled, or we would scramble people to where the drone guy is. So it ain't just drone detection. These people ain't worried about the drone to a point. Yes, they worried about it, but what good is knowing what a drone is if you can't get to the operator? You don't see people talk about that. You don't see these companies talk about that. California shutting down two refineries. That's because y'all polluting everything. We know that. Everything's a pollutant in California. Nuclear is the cleanest thing you can get, and yet they don't want to let any more nuclear. We have a nuclear plant 5 miles south of this gasoline plant. Welcome CMH3 Studio to the channel. We always love talking about helium. 619 is my helium go-to guy. When I can't remember shit because I'm too old, I always lean on him. Also, AKA Voscoin's biggest fan. But listen, I do agree to a point. Helium shouldn't have lied about who's using the network. That to me, that was the beginning of the downfall. But I still think the biggest thing was greed. You know, I was in helium. I know you knew the channel, so you're probably the only the 13 people watching right now. The other 12 people here have heard this story 1,000 times. They're sick of hearing it. But I was early in helium. Me and two buddies bought a helium device on eBay for $5,000. And once we had it hooked up, we ROI'd $5,000 in 17 days. Where we fucked up was, as we were making that money, we just bought 20 more freaking helium miners. That's where we screwed up. But anyway, so I think there was also about 17 or 18,000 to about 25,000 from that period, from when we first hooked it up to a couple of months. And that's when we're making bank. I think what he screwed up was just unlimitedly allowing miners everywhere. That was also a big turnoff. We went from 17 or 18 miners in the New Orleans, probably less than that. Like, we had to make sure we got our antenna high just to be able to hit 2 or 3 other stations in helium at first, and which was in way different hexes. Now, I mean, not now, but it wasn't but 6 months later, we had like 5 stations in our own hex. And then you had the bigger hex thing that had too many stations. So we were getting dinged for that, when, as if we can control how many are in this overall hex. And the next thing you know, there's 900,000+ stations. And then we didn't really put the math together, at least me and the couple of guys I talked to on Discord at that point and Facebook. And because I was running, somehow I got left holding the bag and running 2 helium Facebook groups, helium Facebook groups. But anyway, but it wasn't until later that we found out that a lot of the reason that the price went as crazy as it did is because the amount of burning and using of helium tokens with 900 stations, that was 900 licenses and onboarding fees and everything else using helium, or whatever credit or whatever they had to pay for those manufacturers to get a license for a station. And you notice that when the 900 stations kind of plateaued and they weren't making stations no more, and you had Bobcat that ran out of licenses, onboarding licenses, and Syncrobit and these other ones, token does this nosedive. So I feel it was never, it was always valued way too high than it should have been. and it was artificially valued up like that because of all those onboardings. As soon as the onboarding stopped, the token died. And I wish I would have sold that $5. And I still hold hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of HNT, maybe over 1,000. And part of me wants to sell right now at $2, but I still just feel like it is being used somewhat, that maybe we can get back to $5. I'd rather sell 1,000 at $5 than $2. Because I know what's going to happen is if I sell it at $2, it's going to $5. So maybe I'll sacrifice myself for y'all. Have I ever seen Juan Chain? No. Norma Wallace. I don't know who the madams are of New Orleans. Oh, she's born in 1901, bro. I'm not that old. Funny story, though. I know I probably shouldn't be saying this because some of y'all are going to be too juvenile. But every Tuesday growing up, especially in the summertime, my great-grandmother, I would go spend, she was a short little lady from New Orleans. I used to spend Tuesdays with her on Dauphine Street. Wow. So now you gotta make me go online. Oh man, it sucks having ADD. $410 Dauphine Street. So that's right next to the French Quarter. Bourbon Street. That's right behind. That's like the heart of French Quarter. Which I did many videos from the French Quarter. So this is Elysian Fields. And one block up. Let me see y'all going through history with Grumpy of New Orleans. So great grandma lived. Dude, they all look like shotgun houses. One person owned one half, the other person on the other half. How that worked, I don't know. But she lived in one of these. I want to say it was this one because I was a fat little kid and there was no guardrails. And I would sit here and lay on here, 200 degrees in the summer. I don't remember her even having air conditioning. And guys and the women, there's a naval yard base way down here. And they would sit here and look, I was a 6, 7 years old, but the girls would come jogging through here. But if any of y'all have ever heard of, I know some of y'all are worldwide, so y'all don't know, but somewhere down here was the world famous Hubig's pies, the best little handmade pies ever. They burned down right around Katrina or something like that. and kept coming back and finally came back. But that is around this place somewhere around here. And growing up at that age, I didn't realize how close I was to French Quarter and Bourbon Street. Bourbon Street's right here. See Dauphine into Bourbon. But Bourbon doesn't really get crazy till around this end. Galatoire's, great steak restaurant. This is where the New Year's terrorist hit when he drove through at about like 100 miles an hour, whatever it was, with a pickup truck and killed those people last year. Preservation Hall, the big jazz thing, for those of y'all who are into jazz. World famous Razzoos. I know I'm probably losing all y'all now. You see how this, but you see how bourbon, I've always said this. For those of y'all who like Harry Potter or into Harry Potter, and if you've seen those movies, how sometimes you go like the first Harry Potter, and I forget what other one it was, when they're walking through like the normal Muggle area, and then they go through this secret little thing, and then you find this big wizarding world. I wish there was a way that y'all could see maps at night, because I've always said this is what Bourbon Street looks like during the day. They got these normal little shops open. Look, you got just people going through here. People bring kids through Bourbon Street, and I used to do Uber and Lyft, and people were like, I can't believe people bring kids through here. Yeah, during the day, this is just like normal, normal shops, clothes shops and stuff like that. And during the day, it's just normal stuff. At night, get the kids off the streets, because there's no telling what you're going to see. And then you start going into, where am I at? Might be another 2 blocks down. There should be Tropical Isle somewhere. Tropical Isle. So there used to be a big, where I used to go to, because they never caught it. I can tell myself now, this was a few years later. Right here, this used to be called World Beat. We were doing raves before raves were cool. Again, 16 years old. They didn't card. I could get in here. Look, by 18, 19 years old, I was done with Bourbon Street. Puked enough off, funny story, puked enough off this balcony that it would hit here and drain off of it. Ooh, that was 92, 93. But then, you go 1 block up, and then this is all gay, LGBT, stuff like that. I will say this is Oz. See, Oz, the best mixed drinks in the world. They have just as many hetero people in here to do, gay, homosexual, whatever, because some of the bartenders, they're just the best mixed drinks in the world. So, but growing up in New Orleans, nobody can call me racist and nobody can call me homophobe. That's for sure, because you're friends with all of them. Grew up with all of them, whatever it is. Oh, meat pies. No, it's Hugh Big's pies. Hugh Big's pies. Hoda is from, if y'all watch today, Hoda's from New Orleans. She was on our news for years, since 1921. The pie timeline. See, 2417 Dauphine Street in 1921. 2012, it burned down, and in 2022, it reopened. That was Hubig's Pies, dog. Tell you, it was great. Like, and they fit in your pocket too. This bag will fit in your pocket. So we would stop at the I would, back before I had kids, we would go, I work shift work. So we off every other weekend. Every other weekend, me and my boys would go fishing in the Chalmette area or St. Bernard, lower St. Bernard area. We knew all this by like the back of our hands. Delacroix, Hopedale, all this like this. But on the way there, you would stop in Chalmette right here, get ice and gas, and then we would you get Hubig's pies. They fit in your pocket. Breakfast. Fit in your pocket. You know, we buy that. We buy whatever snacks and drinks we want, and then you could easily eat one when you're just taking off in the boat. A little while later, they fit in your pocket. They were great. They tasted great. They were wonderful. Yep. Delacroix, New Delacroix, Perrette Lake, that lake, Shell Lake, Oak River somewhere. This is Oak River. Black Bay, West Bank. They don't have everything, man. Bay Garden, Crab Bay. But like a lot more of this was thing. I'm not gonna give you all the whole Louisiana history. It was a long time ago, dog. Long time ago. They eventually get married and you have kids, and then she said, "You going fishing again?" Great. Who fought it out? I do agree. Like there are times that I do like, if y'all saw any of my videos, especially doing the Super Bowl and stuff like that, like I can just go ride around the French Quarter and stuff like that. The problem is, and look, this is fact, so I guess you can't, like I said, I'm not racist at all. Very good friends and stuff like that. But I'm gonna tell you how easy it is to get in trouble in New Orleans. So and I think I showed this on another live one day. This is the French Quarter. This is Canal Street. If you saw my video of me when I was chasing down the beacon, whatever, I started on Canal Street right here, and I turned on North Rampart. And North Rampart goes all, remember I kept saying 10 kilometers, and I kept going all the way, for those who watched my video, not sort KAGE, Chirp KAGE. And this is how far I kept going. And I went all the way here, and I went all the way through here, and then to Chalmette, and then I went through here, and I went through here. And if y'all saw where it was, there's Eddie's Marina, Tommy's, that, and then I went through that back of that neighborhood. If y'all saw that, all that right here, that Chirp beacon was about right here. The closest I could get to it was about right here. Was the closest I could get to it. So it had to be like up in here somewhere. I even drove on this road right here, Florida Avenue, and drove up this way, up to Almonester, because Almonester was closed somewhere in here. This was the full. Remember, if you remember, I showed y'all the Folgers place. Folgers was underneath here somewhere. Yeah, see, Folgers Coffee. I drove all this looking for Chirp. I rode all around New Orleans, and the only Chirp beacon was right here in the middle of this freaking swamp. But anyway, what I showed y'all was, in case any of y'all ever want to come to New Orleans, this is the French Quarter. This is Bourbon Street. This is Dauphine Street. When you start getting up in here somewhere at 2 a.m., because what happens is all the parking, see all the parking right here? Tell you, look, I grew up out here, and I've worked enough down there, I know this. All the parking is here. Some of the hotels are here. Some of the hotels are here. What happens is people get so polluted, freaking drunk on Bourbon Street, they think they're walking this way, and they walk this way. And people wait in the shadows. And this is where people get robbed, stabbed. And it's scary. It's scary. Like if I know I got family from out of town that want to go to Bourbon Street, I tell them, make sure you know which way you go. Now, it's not as bad nowadays because people have GPS and different things on their phone that they can walk back to this way. But you see this area, especially this area, it's bad. probably some of the highest crime areas in the park. I mean, in the area. Get to some of this area. I think that's this area. It might be further this way. So this Grumpy's tour guide service trying to help y'all out. Stay on Bourbon Street. If you like to go to Bourbon Street and you like to hear the music, but Bourbon Street's a little too much for you, I always called Royal Street Bourbon Street Light. Doesn't have all the crazy party and stuff, but you get some of the atmosphere and the blues and the jazz and country, metal, whatever you want. There you go. Looks like the Wire Drug Buildings. The Midnight Mining Scavenger Hunt. Is midnight mining what they were talking about earlier? Pause right now. I don't have a thing. My favorite by far is the apple. Wait, did you get 2 pies for $60? That's not what that was it? I'd feel horrible. They're about $3 or $4 in the. I didn't know you can even buy them online. Some people love the lemon. I did not know they sold these things online. God forbid. Jesus. Apple's my favorite. I only do apple. I know people who love sweet potato. They do sweet potato, pineapple pizza. But if I have to say anybody, like guys I work with or anything like that, they like lemon. To me, it's a little too much lemon. Like just too much. The whole pie. Apples by far. It's got. I don't know if there's a picture somewhere. There is. Oh, I gotta get my dog a Hubix pie. Oh, mother. I'll tell you what. Saints Hubix pie shirt. Man, we're completely. But this is what it looks like. You see, it's got that nice and healthy crust over it with the icing. Y'all about to make me go totally jack up my diet. It's got that icing on it. But you see how it's got, like, you can see the cinnamon in that apple. My mouth's watering. I've never had coconut. Peach, coconut and peach is new. Sweet potato came out. Pineapple's new. As far as I remember, chocolate's okay. Blueberry's been out for a while, but most guys I know, everybody loves apple. But some guys get the lemon, and some get the chocolate. That's ones I know about. French Truck Cafe Olay. Shut the front door, man. All right, so welcome to the Grumpy Dad pie page. Good thing they ain't got a pecan pie. They have pecan pie. Oh God, I'd be 400 pounds. While we're completely off the crypto market right now. For Christmas, I haven't. Times are tight right now. Y'all know times are tight when I ain't got this in my house. I wonder if Bywater bourbon. I wish I could take my camera right now and turn it around behind my desk, because I literally have a box full of these empty bottles, because these bottles are so awesome. I just like the way they're made and shaped. Like, I can't get rid of them. But my wife's like, look at all this bourbon. Yeah, but that's been over like 2 years now. You know, I might go through a bottle a month. It ain't the end of the world. You know, but award-winning. And look, I used to be just a strictly Crown Royal Reserve, Crown Royal XO type of guy. Um, that's all really bourbon I could drink with some Diet Coke. This shit is the bomb. Somebody turned me on to this 2 years ago, and it's the only thing I have touched since then. Listen, they've won all kinds of awards and stuff like that. My sister loves this cucumber vodka. Um, this whiskey tree one is supposed to be like it's different whiskey tree ones. I haven't tried it because I like the bar water bourbon so much. But everybody keeps telling me if you like that one, you have to try their whiskey tree weeded one. Why? I mean, I like the other one I got, but silver medal and all these things, man. And apparently you can buy them too. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know you could buy alcohol. Maybe I'm old fashioned. Irish Channel whiskey. I don't know about no Irish whiskey. Listen, I grew up on the water. I used to go to some old people's hunting camps, and they had some moonshine. And I think my nose hairs are still singed from when I was 20 years old drinking people's moonshine on the Pearl River. So when my wife and I went to Tennessee to the moonshine place, I'm like, this is good. Don't get me wrong. They have one or two or three of them that's hella good. But I'm like, this ain't moonshine. Moonshine is like white lightning, like holy hell. I don't know how people can drink it. I can see how they can burn. What else? What else while we're just completely off the reservation? Gentilly Gin. See, this is all named after all the places I showed. Look, I don't even have this. This is all named after. I grew up in Gentilly in New Orleans, part of that map. Kind of where I showed y'all what actually the beacon was. That's Gentilly area. So this is all named. It's brewed, and their whole shtick is that this is brewed and stored under, because New Orleans is under sea level. That's why it floods so easy. So it's in the humidity of Louisiana, New Orleans, stored under sea level, pressured, whatever. Whatever, it works. It's some good shit. All right, so what's going on in crypto? Welcome back to the crypto channel. Oh, thanks for the $2 bourbon fund. I appreciate that. Payday's tomorrow, man. Maybe I'll treat myself to a little Bywater bourbon because it's been a while since I've been out. I appreciate that. I'm gonna tell y'all, I got a buddy in Texas and two buddies in California. When I saw them at a conference, I surprised them with bottles of Bywater bourbon, and they fucking loved it. Loved it. Two guys from California loved it. Actually loved it. And one of them said he ordered more of it. So that's all I'm gonna tell you. Everybody who my local little grocery store that's out here, they like to get these local spirits, as they call them, and I got them buying so that I didn't. At one time, I was driving over an hour to what they call a Rouse's, is the name of the grocery store. I would have to go over an hour, or when I had a meeting down south, like an hour away, I would stop at the Rouse's and get a bottle. I talked my local grocery into getting them. You can't keep it on the shelf. I've opened my mouth and ran my mouth so much around my house on Facebook. I get pissed off when I go in there to get one and they're sold out. So it moves. It's some good stuff. Good stuff. Anything else? Alan Beaton said he came on here to the Grumpy Dad Crypto channel and now he's turning into an alcoholic looking at bourbon. He's like, man, what YouTube channel I got into? I'm getting tours of the French Quarter. Tours of the French Quarter. Let me see. Gentilly. Told y'all. In fact, I actually grew up. Reed Boulevard went to elementary school. Di Benedetto's where I played sports at Joe Brown Stadium. Me and my buddies were talking about. I'm still friends with a group of guys that I grew up with from kindergarten to about 5th grade in New Orleans East. And we all moved at the same time. Our families got out of here. When the gunshots got too bad at about 2 or 3 a.m. every night, family said, all right, guys, it's time to move. So then we moved to the Slidell area, all of us. And then we're still friends this day. We still play fantasy football together. My boys I grew up with. We lived in this area, went to high school here, played football, and then we still get together every year during COVID. We took breaks, of course, but we got together this year. We still get together either at somebody's house, and we draft fantasy football, play fantasy football together. Still, it's cool. If y'all remember, about 2 years ago, guy who I've been best friends with since 2nd grade in New Orleans, graduated here in the fantasy football together. His daughter coming home from college one day, Friday, 18-wheeler pulls out in front of her. She gets killed, and that was horrible. He still has not fully recovered from that. He was very close with her. But the most honest 20-year-old girl you've ever met in your life. Very religious girl. I know she's with God. She didn't drink. She didn't party. She didn't do anything. She went to college and was coming home for the weekend only to help her sister with prom that day, to get ready for prom. Her sister asked her to come home from college to help her get ready for prom, and she got killed on the way home. Broad daylight. And I'll never forget that phone call. And it happened up here. I worked down here, and I wanted to fly up there to get up there to him, and there was no way I could have got up there, but it was horrible. But anyway, talking about that. So I grew up in this area right here, which was right next to Nassamishu. Why is Nassamishu? Y'all gonna love y'all loving this. It's 9:20. We're 2.5 hours later. We're still going to Nassamishu is where the booster rockets were made when the Challenger blew up. If you remember, the Challenger had the booster leak. Was the Challenger or the Columbia? One of them. The booster rockets were made with the O-ring separation, with all that, and the Nassamishu facility. They would them tanks are huge. They would put them in the canal right here, and this is the what they call it, the Mississippi Gulf Outlet or whatever it's called, like that. What they call that? The I can't think of it. Anyway, with all the ships, intercoastal waterway, because they call it, because it's protected. There's an intercoastal waterway that goes through here that all the ships can take or whatever it is, like that. Anyway, so yes, it comes out of New Orleans East down to intercoastal waterway, out right here, and then it would get shipped all the way to Florida by boat, by barge, or whatever it was. What else you want to know? Superdome, Smoothie King Center, where the basketball team plays. Charms is right here. I-10. Pete Maravich, LSU Tiger Stadium. Go Tigers. This is how big LSU is. If you don't realize how big that is. And then so Grumpy has a helium / Wingbits station here and up further up here because he got Baton Rouge in it. So anyway, we're completely off the reservation, like whatever now. Drunk Your Dad show. I'm not drunk, dude. Trust me. I wish, like I said, I just like showing off like different things. Bring y'all into my personal life. Showing y'all New Orleans. New Orleans got some culture, man. You gotta open yourself up a little bit. But no, couldn't tell you though. I think I've been out of Bywater bourbon for, I'll tell you right now, probably Halloween. So I didn't buy anymore because I was going hunting in Missouri. So I'm like, I'm not gonna go buy a $50 bottle of $55 bottle of bourbon to sit around my house. I don't want to get lonely. And then got all this going on. And then Thanksgiving, I'm gonna be out of town for hunting again. I don't know. I might buy a bottle tomorrow, but no Drunk Your Dad stuff. Nice bit of history. Where you putting the 4D Sky? That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. I saw somebody made comments about there was a rumor that if you put your 4D Sky too close to a helium station or to a Wingbit station, you were going to get docked points or something. And I'm told that is completely false. But you know, something like a 4D Sky, I want something that has some pretty good elevation. So there's a part of me that I wouldn't mind putting it in Baton Rouge. But as a new station, part of me wants to know, like, should I have it close to me in case I got to get to it for some reason, because I want to add to it, if I want to do something to it. But, both my stations here in Baton Rouge are on top of buildings, like several story buildings, some great elevation. Part of me says, but then I already have a Wingbit station there that does some great rewards. I don't know if I can put another station, because they don't know what kind of station it is. They just gave me permission to put the antenna up there. So I would almost have to remove the Wingbit station for that. I definitely don't want to do that. You know, one place that has the best view is Grand Isle. That's where I got my station at, and that's the station that when it's got a good day, again 5.5, I'm damn near hitting Cuba and Cancun with it. So there's part of me that says, with it being 10.8, 10 whatever it is, 10 1090, and the was it Flarm and Mode S and 978 and stuff, with this distance, because you have a lot of low elevation planes and helicopters in this area. If you want to see something cool, Monday mornings at 8 a.m. my time, 7 a.m. my time, this looks like mosquitoes down here. This is nothing. There are helicopters everywhere because you have all these rigs, and they're bringing new people out to the rigs on Monday morning, bringing people back on Monday morning, bringing new supplies on Monday morning, and it is swarms. I didn't realize, like, I knew there was helicopters. I didn't realize how much it was, but this station picks up all these low helicopters because there's a lot of like plants and stuff back here. You see the tanks and stuff like that, energy and stuff like that. But these, they're bringing, and with the helicopters, they're coming back here, they're coming back through here, Port Fourchon, and again swapping out supplies, swapping out people. But the amount of helicopters that come through here, part of me wants to maybe put it down here. But it doesn't look like this is a 2-hour drive from my house. So I don't know, man. It's a good. I have been thinking about that. Where am I going to put that 4D Sky station at? I really wanted to get it in first, do a video on it, show it off to y'all. But again, that's part of me. I would like to keep it close, just because I can do different things to it and swap out antennas and do testing and that kind of stuff. And I can always do testing with it at my office. My building's got a pretty high roof. Do the testing, test out different antennas like we were talking about, and then permanently go put it somewhere. Put it near one of your Wingbits locations so you can compare them. yeah. I mean, I have a Wingbit station on top of the roof of my building, so I guess I technically could do that. Problem is, my outdoor box that's on top of my building ain't got room for nothing because it's got a PoE switch, and I got a PoE because there's no power on top of my roof. So I had to run a Cat 5, Cat 6 cable from a switch, PoE switch, to Netgear sells a PoE in, PoE out switch. Coolest thing ever. But it's just a little Netgear switch that brings PoE in, and you can run 4 ports of PoE out. I think it's 4 ports. So I have the little converters, whatever you call the splitters. So I have a helium device, a Wingbits, and GeoNet. And then I ran a completely different one for my Chirp. That's where my Chirp Blackbird is also. And then my local ISP provider who I do business with has me a circuit there. I told you all, like, I'm very tight with them guys, and they give me a separate circuit and just send me a bill for it. And because it's very low bandwidth, I have very low bandwidth with it, but they offer it to me. And so, you know, they give me a port somewhere to plug into where their ISP stuff comes in and says, this is Grumpy's one. And I get a bill. And if I want to light up a separate one with a different IP, I get a bill for that. But what's cool is because they're a small mom and pop ISP for our whole area. If I need one at a building way over here, and I got somebody who wants to give me space for an antenna, I'm like, hey, who's your ISP provider? Oh, really? Okay. And I call my buddy up and say, hey, they have an open port or their ONT for their fiber. Can you help me out? Yep, no problem. And on my next month's bill, get a little bit of a charge. But another thing, again, you do a speed test on it. It ain't a lot of speed, but you don't need a lot of speed for all this Wingbits and this stuff you're doing. Even in Earn app runs with no problem. Some Canadian raw. Yep. Yeah, Roar. I definitely want to test these antennas because they're making a big deal about their antennas, and I want to do a test, and I want to see what it does. But guys, it's 9:30. I didn't realize we're going for 2.5 hours. I went completely off the deep end on this one. I can see why somebody thought I was drinking. Oh, 619 says 619 says he's going to put a station in Chugwater. It's about time, man. So yeah, I've given up on the Chugwater dream. It was fun while it lasted, but for those people who are new here, Chugwater is a town in Wyoming, north of Cheyenne, and I don't know how we got onto it, but we always talked about putting a Wingbit station here. It was kind of like just the inside joke for the longest time, Chugwater. Chugwater is a little bitty town. I've always said I wanted to go visit it one day. One day I was going to take a road trip. It's got 7 streets on it. 7 streets. I guess it's got 8, 9, 10 when you think about it. 11. I reached out to all the hams that were in this area, which was about 6. One guy actually on Facebook, actually I joined, I don't know if you'll know this, I joined the Chugwater, Wyoming Facebook page. Quite interesting some of the stuff that they deal with. And I'm not being sarcastic. It's small town problems, as I would say. And I reached out to, is there any hams out there? I'm a ham. I gave him my call sign. Can you have him reach out to me? And I had 1 or 2 email me. And then when I told them, hey, you know, I do a project called Wingbits. It's ADSB, flight tracking. You have nothing to lose at all. I will send you all the equipment and split the rewards with you. So all you got to do is go to your router. You plug it in. If you want to keep it in your router, you can. Or it has, you know, I tell them it has Wi-Fi. I can hook it up to Wi-Fi. All I need to do is plug it in and put the antenna outside. You have zero expense, and I will split rewards with you. And I've never heard from him again. They probably thought I was trying to, scam him or something. I don't know. I mean, I gave him my call sign. I gave him for those who are hams or familiar with QRZ, I gave him my QRZ page so they could see that I was legit. Gave him even my business page so that they could see that I was like a real person. Never heard back from him again. So I guess they don't need money. I don't know. I was gonna send one of my DIY stations. I keep telling y'all that I have to do something with my DIY stations because I'm killing myself, and I need to really stagger them out. But I just need to stagger them out some more. I don't know why. But anyway, yeah, see how I mean these are my two in Baton Rouge. One further south, my Grand Isle one. But really I want to go and take one of these stations and put it somewhere else. So Wingbits went back. They don't show total coverage anymore. They did for a little while, but why don't they show total coverage? Am I missing something? But there it is. So I got a buddy in North Mississippi who told me I could put a station. Where's Mississippi? Trying to find it. I don't want to say it because whatever I say the areas, I get sniped. But if you follow 59, so it would be up in this area. So again, it would help me spread out my stations a little bit and help me cover it this way. But it's Mr. Glenn. The Glenn keeps saying he's offline, but we getting it online. So I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, so I got another station coming up in this area, so that's going to help me fill this area in. When I was in Missouri, I kept trying to get somebody in this area. I want somebody in this area strictly so I want to try to fill this gap. I'm not worried about this side just because, see, I think it's a cool goal to say I have all these corners, but I really want to see, like, to me, if you have a Wingbit station and you want to get on Wingbits, you should be doing just exactly what I'm doing. You should be looking and saying, where can I put a station at? I know you don't have the capability to put in a station anywhere, but to me, you look at these gaps. You look at these gaps. You look at these gaps. But even as you zoom in, don't worry about this gap. This gap's about to get filled. Even here, you do have some room for gap. You do have some room for gap. You do have some room for gap. Because I mean, you got 3 stations right here. You got room for gap here. This is that Chugwater area a little bit, somewhat. Some of these you do have some areas. To me, if you looking at Wingbits and you live in this area, go to 4D Sky. If you live in this area, there's absolutely no reason to get in Wingbits. That's some pretty good rewards. I mean, for being that jam packed, but that's like this is a piss poor setup. You can't compare that. Even this. Like if you're in these areas, no thank you. Wingbits doesn't need you. I remember when Salt Lake, when I was putting the station here, my host here had an aunt that lived in Salt Lake City, and I was working out a cash deal with her. I'm so glad I didn't work that out with her. There was no stations at all here. None. And there was actually 2 stations in Twin Falls. They're both gone. But there was no stations here. It shows you how these things fill up. Anything else? Kyle said his has been off in Shreveport. That one's new. See, my son's in college up in here somewhere. Again, I don't want to give up that information, but he's in a dorm, so he can't put a station up. He does have a device running helium and EarnApp though, because to keep his demo going, there was no demo devices up here at all. I mean, there was no helium devices up here at all, at least online. There's one way up here. So I had to give him a helium device that ain't making crap because there's nobody to witness it. But apparently they must have a couple of people running something with helium because it gets a decent amount of data, but it goes to show you how the data don't make anything. Oh, it's 9:40. Oh, back's killing me. Someone had another one in Shreveport for a very short time, but it says reserved. I don't know it's off. But I questioned that. Like, I questioned this the other day, and I meant to ask Axie on it. This right here has been reserved. Because I know the Gonzales area. I got a feeling I think I know who this is. Y'all know who if any of y'all came from the D-Fly days, y'all know who this is also. He was a pilot. And pilots do want a certain thing. It's a 3-letter word, starts with F. And then the rest of his name was a crustacean that is known for Louisiana. Y'all know who it is. Almost sure that this is who this is. Because this is where he had D-Fly station. In addition to up here is where he had D-Fly stations. Where before D-Fly, you could put them within like the same, there was no hexes in D-Fly. You just put the station wherever it was. But I went to Wingbits when he was still defending D-Fly, and that's why he lost out. I'm almost sure this is his spot. But this has been reserved since before WB200s. When WB200s had that waiting period, that's when, so somebody has to still be paying for this reservation. What do you got to pay, like every 30 days? Is it every 30 days or every so many months? Aren't you paying for that? Like, I don't know. Like I said, there's a guy down here that's really, really, really big into flight aware and that kind of stuff. Mode S and 978 ham stuff, everything. I know who this is, and I have a feeling that that's who this is. This is Mahan. All right, boys and girls, I guess we gotta get off sooner or later. It is 9:45. This is my longest live ever. I appreciate the people who were still here, who came by, hung out with me. Pies shipped out Monday. Roy's getting his pies. Roy, wait, you didn't say what pies did you get? What's the best place to get boudin from? I'm not a boudin person. My son loves boudin. it's different, man. I'm a smoked sausage guy. Um, I'm not a boudin guy. Look, these people will put boudin in everything or stuff everything in boudin. It's rice with chicken gizzards if it's made the right way, with ground up whatever, with rice cased into a sausage casing. But I'm gonna tell you right now, every gas station sells it. You go into like some of these gas stations that's selling crackling. If y'all know what crackling is, fried pork skin, they got some good places with some crackling. I can get me a fresh bag of crackling, and then you hold the brown paper bag, and it's still like greasy, and it's still hot, and you bite into it, and that oil and that grease like comes out. Oh, it's the greatest shit in the world. But they also sell boudin, and I'm like, no, bro, no. I'm not a boudin. Wait, you got two of each, so you got two of every single flavor, like 2 lemon, 2 apple, 2 chocolate, 2 peach, 2 strawberry. What else do you got? 2 peach, apple, lemon, chocolate, blueberry, coconut. I am intrigued in that coconut though. It looks like coconut custard. Let me tell you, I love coconut custard pies. Pecan pie is my favorite, or as some people up north call it, pecan pie. But it ain't pecan, brothers. It's pecan. Pecan. Thanksgiving, my mom will be making me my pecan pie with and turkey with Militant dressing. If any of y'all know what that is, I doubt it because most people who are outside Louisiana don't know what that is. I don't know. Do y'all know what the hell this is? What the fuck? What is a chayote? Dude, I'm 50 years old, and you're telling me that my whole life I thought Merloton was something unique to us. My whole life is a lie right now. Chayote. What the fuck is a chayote? What is this? Chayote is known as a Christophine Merloton. What? Man, I'm thinking this is like some exclusive Louisiana thing. The fruit goes by many English names. Chayote, the common English name of the fruit outside of Louisiana. In Louisiana and Haiti, it's known as Merloton. Well, say Merliton. See, the Cajun version is Merliton. See, Silencio needs me to translate Cajun. They should have a Cajun dialect section for that. Christophine. Have y'all heard this before? Or am I like losing my mind? Dude, that dude got 2 bottles of bottled water. I'm so jealous. Original and the tree edition. So wait, you get the bottled water bourbon I was showing y'all with the dark brown label. Is that the one you got? Um, because they have this one. Now my buddy swears by this one. I've never had it. It's a straight bourbon whiskey, and then I do the 4 grain whiskey. This is the good one. This is the one you got. CM3H. Hold that thought 1 second. Um, see, Orpheus is the big parade. That's the one that what's the country singer and that's married to the girl from No Doubt, Gwen Stefani. They just got picked to be the head people of Orpheus this year. Orpheus is the crew of Orpheus. that I'm horrible with names. The guy that was in Independence Day with Will Smith that dies, the other pilot, the jazz singer, whatever. He owns the Orpheus Parade. Yeah, whatever his name is. See, you see how like this is why I can't get that accomplished. Like my ADD just completely goes off on this own thing. But Bywater came out with a single barrel version for another $20. That's just too expensive for me. Let's see, single barrel right here. Cast strength single barrel. So the proof is higher. But there's also like a weeded version of this. I've seen that in the stores. I do want to do the tour one day. I passed by it on the outside, but I've never been the tour. All right. So you didn't know raisins were grapes until my 30s. I think I was in my teens. But anyway. Oh. CM3H Wingbits and above the tree line being necessary. Necessary as far as what? Necessary as far as will you get kicked out the project or will you make worthwhile rewards? You will make worthwhile rewards, better rewards if it's above the tree. 1090 to me doesn't penetrate well. That's why I say you don't want it to be in your attic. So you have to remember these planes are 40-something thousand feet in the air, 200 miles away. So while you think it's 40, this is your antenna. And if this is the tree line, think of the antenna right here as it comes in. I guess it's a bad omen, but as it comes in, even if it's 40,000 feet away, it's still coming the 200 miles away. It's coming this way. If you have trees that are right here blocking it, you're not going to get these airplanes. You'll get the airplanes that are maybe 100 miles in. So you'll get some rewards, but you basically want to cover as many hexes as possible, especially if you have any kind, I don't know where your location is, but especially if you don't have hexes around you that are occupied, you want as many of those hexes as possible. So yes. Now, without making this too, as if 3 hours is not long enough live as it is, but I guess we'll make it 3 hours. But without making this overly complicated, don't sacrifice piss poor feed line for height. Meaning, the problem comes in is if you have this station inside and you're running 50 feet of feed line to that antenna, you probably got so much loss in that feed line that reducing that feed line by 25 feet would probably do better, even though you're making it shorter than the amount of loss you have. Because there's a lot of loss at over 1,000 megahertz, which is 1090. So you have two options. You go with a thicker feed line, which is going to cost you more expensive, or you go to like PoE, where you run a PoE injector and splitter, and you run an Ethernet cord up closer to where the antenna is going to be, and then you put a little outdoor box and you put the device in there. Or if you run a WB300, some people like me take apart a WB300. I've tried it before too, where the brain is one place, and then you run a feed line to an antenna. But basically, the old adage of RF, no matter if it was helium, no matter if it's ham radio, height is might. I put that on Wingbits the other day. Height is might. But don't go put this thin little, that 32-foot type of feed line from Amazon that comes with this antenna, because there's so much loss in that you hurt yourself. I know that's a long answer. I'm sorry, but that's just about as nice as I can put it. Let's see. This is the Wingbits Discord. Like this guy, this is LMR 300. If y'all were here early, if y'all been here 3 hours with me, we talk about LMR 300. That I've never heard of LMR 300. I've never heard of Top Goose Elon. I have never heard of MR300. This is something, and looking how thin this is. But again, when it's this thin, you don't have to really worry about. You don't have to really worry about 3 foot. I would never put 25 feet of thin stuff out. You're gonna have so much loss. It ain't worth it for the height you're gonna get. I wouldn't probably put 10 feet of this thin stuff. I'm going with an LMR 400 after that point. Y'all hear my dog get the night crazy? It's my little bitty dog running around going crazy. See, even 6 foot. Ultra Flex 240. 6 foot is about as long as I would go with a feline at this length. And you got to make sure you got the penis in it. Because a lot of people reuse old helium stuff, and old helium stuff doesn't have penises in it because the helium device had the penis. And it had the screw part like that. It had the screw part, but it didn't have, which was the male part. It's just called reverse polarity, whatever. I don't know. I forget where we're talking about height is might. I don't know. Height is might, though. Look, if you have to get a little bit thicker of feline to get you above trees, it is well worth it. Well worth it. It's going to make a world of difference. Making sure you have the right antenna is going to make sure you have, is going to give you a world of difference. So if you're still there, CMH3 Studio. If not, hit me up in my Discord. Make sure y'all are in my Discord. Links should be below. I appreciate it. I thought we haven't talked. Anybody else want to talk about anything else? Y'all want me to give y'all Disney World tours too? Because my wife was hoping she'd get that for her birthday yesterday. And like, have you not been paying attention? Can't afford a stuffed animal in Disney World right now. I reached out to, I gotta go at least another 3 minutes. I need to make this a 3-hour live just so I could say we had a 3-hour live. I reached out to Combinder. If any of y'all happen to be in that Telegram group, I hate it. I hate Telegram. And I keep telling them, y'all need to be on Discord. And they're like, we have no plans on going to Discord. And I keep trying to tell them that people in crypto look for Discord as a kind of a legitimate type thing, and they have no plans on going to Discord anytime soon. And I just think that is stupid. Stupid, but that's just me. Brush Show, I don't think Brush Show's even on Discord yet. I can't stand even scrolling through these things. Reminder, 4D Sky only has 200 units. I guess that's a good thing. You know, I don't know, boys and girls. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate everybody's support. I got 2 more minutes left. I don't know. I'm tired. My back hurts. I don't know. I still got the old man texting me about his Wingbits station. What else? Anything else? Videos for this weekend. I don't know. I don't know of anything really. Is there anything going on? Anything anybody wants to know about that I can do a video on? How about one last look at crypto before we get out of here? Let's see. Mhm. Bitcoin looks like it's at. So while we're talking, Bitcoin went down another 1,000, a little bit of green. So it looks like it's going to continue down this route for a while. I don't know. Maybe 56,000 is the magic number. I don't know. You know, with that, I don't know what else. Nadix is killing me. Solana, $132. Crow, 10 cents. Vet, I got my alarm set for Vet though. See my alarm line right here? I told my wife we might not be paying the bill, the electric bill next month. I'll be buying more. Ethereum, I might get an Ethereum game. I never did like it. I used to mine it years ago with GPUs, but ever since then I haven't really messed with it. Cardano, I don't know where I'd buy back Cardano back in that. I don't know yet. But all right, I guess we're gonna go. And I appreciate everybody who's been in here. The scope room for better height location. I'm a renter, and I know they would not approve a tall pole tower. Yes, being a renter is a very hard thing. That would be very hard. I know Fluffy. If y'all know Fluffy from, I did some AMAs with him. Used to be big in the helium days and stuff like that. He's a renter also, and he just did more of a, I want to say a Yagi type style, since he was on the balcony, milled the building to point out to give him better range out, but still, you're still kind of missing behind you. So, you know, it's hard. It's hard to set up guest or host locations when you have no idea what you're gonna be making. I would never, just to give you, I would never. I don't know if you knew this game, and look, if you're not, if you've been in these other projects for a long time, and forgive me for being rude, you know, and thinking otherwise, but just I've learned from watching a lot of people with helium. I would never ever make any kind of financial, like, monetary deal with these people with host. You know, hey, I promise you $50 a month, $100 a month, because you have no idea what you're gonna be making Wingbits. What I did with Wingbits was make different deals with people. Hey, I'm paying for everything. You just give me the location, and how about I give you, 30%, 40%. And I'm trying to figure out like what they're going to make, because we're getting a 20% bonus on every station during testnet. That's why testnet goes another month. You're still getting 20%. But I mean, I still have to think they have to go to TGE before 2026, right? So what's cool about Wingbits is you do a host location. In the wallet, you can put your friend's Solana address in there and what percentage you want, kind of like GeoNet. If you're familiar with that, GeoNet has that too. So you can say, hey, I'm giving my friend 30%. Here's a Solana address. Press enter, and when the rewards start paying out, he gets 30% automatically. You don't have to worry about sending him nothing or anything. I know they're not the same, but who you have more faith for, Nadix or Rover? Rover. That's an easy question. Easy question. I think if there was more people in here, that this thing wouldn't last 3 hours. I think there would be way more people say Rover right now. It's strictly because of, like, what's Nadix doing? Their token hasn't had as much of a crash. I mean, it's crashed. Don't get me wrong, it's crashed, but still not as bad as a crash. But again, on my live, like, oh, time flies, 2-3 months ago, I was completely surprised by Nadix. And Nadix, I had $900 worth of Nadix, and I didn't sell it because I'm a moron. And it's worth $390 now. Last I checked, it might be worth even less than that now. Y'all gonna make me go check and get sick. I know I've seen more partnerships with, and more people announce partnerships with Rover than Nadix. You know, I don't know. $353. That's what I got right now. And like I said before, it was no, it's down 33% in a month. And that was about somewhere around here. It was like $900, somewhere around there. But Nadix also has said that they're going to start giving a lot less rewards out to people with the app. They want more people with VX360s or whatever it's called. Oh, excuse me, my Diet Coke's coming up. Rover, for some reason, I brag on Rover all the time. I don't know how Rover does it, but somehow Rover keeps their price. Oh, dude, see, I talk too soon. But you have to say, look, in a year, it's up 2%. Somehow, whether or not they burn or whether or not they just inject the money or something, somehow, you know, it's always at around a penny. Look, 0.009 to a penny, which is 0.001 more. And it comes back down, and all it comes, look at this, is all, this whole way is a penny. This is for the last year. Penny, 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 stays around a penny, goes up 0.009. It jumped a little bit more, comes back to a penny. And that's all. It hovers between 0.009 and a penny. Dude, and I don't have the freaking screen on. I'm sorry. Again, for past year, 0.009 up to a penny, 009, penny, 009, and that's where we're still at 0. Somehow it holds that, you know, it's only, and even now it's not, that's 0.007 or 8 that is down. That's it. And if you could afford it, B13, especially with all the traveling you do, dude, a light cone, dude. I know how much you travel. Some of them 20-hour trips you take and 2-day trips you take. Light cones. Sell some of the other crypto you got. But actually, I don't think they even have light cones for sale right now. I really hope they do that. Not that I can afford it right now. But oh guys, I gotta get off here. My wife's coming here twice looking to talk to me about something. She probably can't believe y'all are sitting here listening to me too. Man, I missed this AMA. I'll tell you, if they really do this stake thing like I think it's gonna be, where you just stake this and they're giving you a light cone, and then you get to receive the device, you earn with it for a year, and then you return it or whatever it is, and then you get your stake back, you have lost zero money. Like, this is, I just can't fathom this. Like, that's how much faith they have in their project. I just can't understand how like, who's even covering the price for this on these light cones. I know like this was their idea. This is just an idea. Like, am I missing something here? Do y'all see something around? Like, I know they got a few people here left. Am I missing something here? Like, it doesn't, 250,000 ain't cheap, but this is still cheaper than what a current light cone's going for when he was selling. But you get your money back. That's like you buying. Roar bought a light cone. He's out that money. I mean, he's gonna get Rover as he drives around, but he's never getting that money back that he paid for it. With this, you're staking, driving around with the light cone, making 16 Rover a kilometer, and then you return the device and get your 250,000 tokens back. Like, this is like phenomenal, unless I'm missing something. I don't know. Y'all tell me. I keep talking about that. B13, I'm gonna tell you something. My son in college right now, him and his girlfriend get the car together and he do DoorDash. And it scares me just because I'm a grumpy old man and it, I always hear the worst of things because of the job I'm in, but he ain't begging me for money no more. He had a summer job and of course he spent that, him and his girlfriend go out to eat, do whatever. And I got him a little job for a weekend making stupid money for that country music concert not too long ago. And I'm sure he blew through that. And they're doing DoorDash and actually doing pretty decent. My problem with Uber and Lyft, I did Uber and Lyft for a while. When there was an event going on in New Orleans, this was about 4 or 5 years, probably about 3 or 4 years ago. I did it for a year. Jazz Fest, I was making $75 in my pocket, $75 per ride. It was stupid. St. Patrick's Day, Mardi Gras, was making $50, $60 per ride. But when there was nothing going on, you weren't making crap. You were barely breaking even because of, then you had people smell like weed coming in your car. And then Monday, my wife's bringing my kids to school, and the whole car reeks of weed. Somebody left a joint in the fucking car. You realize how much shit I could have got in for that? And then it all ended when some girl puked in the back of my wife's car. That was it. It was over at that point. Never could get the puke smell out because we had those little bitty holes, perforated holes on the back seat for ventilation. Never could get out. We had to get rid of the car. And my Uber lifted. Every now and then I would think about, because it was cool. I like talking to people. And people loved riding with me because I would tell them history about different things in the world. It's kind of like what I did with y'all earlier. People swore I was from New York. And I'm like, where y'all? Why don't y'all think I sound like I'm from New York? But I made there were some days where I made some stupid money. But people don't respect the shit. Like, I was driving around my wife's Infinity SUV so I could do the Uber and Lyft, like platinum stuff. And you got these teenagers who would go in the front seat. Oh, girl, you want to sit in the front? Well, hold on. And they're climbing over the seats to get to the middle. And then, oh, you want to sit in the middle? And then they're climbing with high heels on over seats to the back. And I'd flip out. And then they give me 1 star. And I'm like, well, you walking all over my wife's leather seats in a brand new Infinity with high heels on, like you're 5 years old, spilling alcohol and shit. And yeah. But DoorDash, you're right. You ain't got to deal with that. You just got to deal with people who don't tip worth of shit from what I'm seeing on Twitter and X and different things like that. You got to worry about that. Dude, 140,000 Rover, sick. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Like I said, I wish I could have just borrowed somebody's Rover for my trip to Missouri last week. 10 hours there, 3 hours across the state to another hunting place for a couple of days, and then 10 hours back. I wish I could just borrow somebody's Rover. They should have a rental program. And I could just drove Rover for that. That's awesome, dude. Dude, you found your Rover Litecoin on eBay? That's cool. All right, guys, I gotta get the hell out of this. 10:13. I gotta get that. Look, I appreciate it. I could do lives every night and just shoot this stuff like this. I don't like doing more lives because there's a lot of times I don't have much to talk about. I mean, but I don't mind y'all asking questions or me asking questions and we learning from each other. But I appreciate it. Look, I appreciate even the new people. I know y'all probably not here no more, but I appreciate the Roar. I got you. But I appreciate the new people that came by here, especially the dude that thought I was drunk because he came in while I was in the middle of giving out tours of New Orleans and talking about alcohol. But no, I ain't like I said, I ain't drank since October. So, and even if I do drink, honestly, guys, I have 1 cup like this with Diet Coke and some bourbon in it. Diet Coke and bourbon. I don't drink it straight, and I have 1. And that's it, 1. Because I'm basically kind of on call all night. That if our radio system fails or some of our IT stuff fails for our first responders, I have to, kind of go in. So I don't want to drink. Because if I do drink too much, I got to call somebody else to do it for me. So, But, all right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, adults, I hope y'all like to tour through New Orleans. the history tour and everything like that. Hopefully, you know, crypto gets more exciting and we don't have to talk about tours of New Orleans and Dauphine Street and Hubig's Pies and Bywater Bourbon and stuff like that, unless they want to start sponsoring the channel. But right now, the grumpy lawn is holding tight, and I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do about that. The grumpy lawn is holding tight. Bitcoin keeps hitting that line since November, and Jesus, it don't look like it's going back to hit this line again. Ooh, boy. We might be 56,000 by this weekend. Who knows? See y'all later. CMH3 Studio. Thank you for coming by, man. Glad to have you. Come back Tuesdays and Thursdays. We usually do lives, usually every Thursday, and you know, some Tuesdays every now and then I get a little too busy. But usually every Tuesday and Thursdays. And look, it's just a big BS session, as you saw. I'm a very different YouTube channel, and everybody says that. Some people say that's what they like about me, and some people say I'm too unprofessional. Who cares? It is what it is, man. I don't do this for all the views and the subscribers. I do this just, you know, to learn, and hopefully if I can help people, you know. You definitely don't come to me for TA. I should put a disclaimer on my thing. Do not come to me for TA. I only pretend like I know how to draw lines, you know. Thank you all for watching. See y'all on the next video. Somebody get the lights on the way out. I appreciate it. Hit the like button before you leave, too. I appreciate it. Thank y'all.